Hi there. Welcome to the Student Studio. I'm Sangeeta. Today let's look at rhyme and rhyme scheme. Have you ever heard of these words, rhyme and rhyme scheme? These are basically poetic devices. Now, what do I mean by poetic devices? Poetic devices are tools which you use to enhance the beauty of your poem. How do you do that? You sort of make it sound better, or you intensify the mood or the feeling in the poem. Now, this is what a poetic device does. There are very many poetic devices in use, of which rhyme and rhyme scheme are very popular. Let's look at each one of them in detail. First, let's take a look at rhyme. What is the meaning of rhyme? Rhyme is nothing but the repetition of similar sounds at the end of a word. For example, take say and may. Both the words say and may end with the same sound. Though the consonant behind them is different, it is the same sound. Please note, it is the repetition of similar sounds. I am not referring to the spelling of the words. It is just the sounds which repeat in rhyming words. Okay, we find a lot of examples. For example, duck, stuck, poking, joking, book, cook. You have a lot of these things. This is a defining feature in both verse and poetry. Verse, by the way, is a stanza in poetry. In each of this, you will find the usage of rhyme very frequently. Though the meaning of this word rhyme appears simple, there are many classifications that we find in rhyme based on the stress on the syllable which is rhyming. We have more than 8 classifications. We have more than 8 types of rhymes. It could be feminine rhyme or masculine rhyme, and so on and so forth. We have many of these things. This is based on the stress of the syllables which are rhyming. Again, based on the position of the rhyming words, we have a couple of other types. I have just listed a few of them for you. These are just a few which I thought might come in handy for the rest of the session. The first one is an internal rhyme. As the name itself suggests, if the rhyming words occur within the same line as in the example given, these are called internal rhyme. I went to town to buy a gown. Town and gown are the rhyming words here. And if you see, they appear in the same line. This is internal rhyme. Now, if you look at the next type, this is contrary to the internal rhyme. This is usage of rhyming words in consecutive lines. Just take a look at that. I sat upon the chair, a cat upon my lap. Here, you can see that the rhyming words are sat and cat, and they are not in the same line as in the previous case, but they are in consecutive lines. They are in successive lines, right? Now, this is what is external rhyme. This is one classification of rhymes based on the position of rhyming words. I would like to introduce you to another classification of rhyming words. There are 3 different classifications: terminal rhyme or end rhyme, medial rhyme, and initial rhyme. Let me just take you through each one of these. If you look at the first one is end rhyme. End rhyme would mean appearance of these rhyming words at the end of the line, as in the example given. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. The rhyming words are wall and fall, right? If you see, they are at the end of the line, right? That is why it's called the end rhyme. It's also called the terminal rhyme. It's also called the tail rhyme. The next one that you see is medial rhyme or middle rhyme. This is appearance of rhyming words in the center of the line, somewhere in the center, not in the beginning, not in the end, anywhere in between these two. Look at the example there. I drove myself to the lake and dove into the water. Drove and dove are the rhyming words, and as you can see, they're not in the beginning, they're not in the end, they are in between, right? The next one is initial rhyme. It's also known as head rhyme or alliteration. This alliteration is something that you might be familiar with. This is actually the repetition of rhyming, similar sounds in the beginning of a word. We will look at it in detail in another session. But for now, let's move on. I hope you've understood the meaning of rhyme. Now, let's look at the next thing, which would be rhyme scheme. What exactly is a rhyme scheme? It is the pattern of end rhymes in a stanza. When you're writing the rhyme scheme, you just consider the last words of the lines of your poem, and you see whether they rhyme or not. Based on whether they rhyme or not, you write the rhyme scheme. Let's see how it's done. Before we go into seeing how it is done, let's remember that it is notated, or rhyme scheme is written using lowercase letters or small letters. Let's just understand how it's done. Consider this example. I have just taken an example that you might be familiar with. It's a rhyme, Rockabye Baby on the Treetop. You might have heard it. If not, don't bother, just look at the last words of these 4 lines. Rockabye baby on the treetop. The last word is top. Now, how do we write the rhyme scheme? The first line gets the first letter of your alphabet, which is A. You get A. And we go to the next line. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. The last word is rock. We see if the last word rhymes with the previous line last word. If it does, it gets the same letter. If not, it gets the next letter, B. Because top doesn't rhyme with rock, rock gets the next letter. Same process continues for all the lines given to you. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. The last word is fall. We have to check if fall rhymes with top or with rock. Does fall rhyme with top? I don't think so. So it doesn't get A. Does it rhyme with rock? No. So it doesn't get either A or B. It gets the next letter, C. Similar process to be followed for the next line. And down will come baby, cradle, and all. The end word is all. We have to check if this rhymes with top or with rock or with fall. When you look at it, you see that it rhymes with fall, which has the letter C. So what you do is you give it the same letter C. And now that you have assigned these letters to them, how do you write this rhyme scheme? The rhyme scheme is what you get when you combine all of them. Just write these letters in the form of a word. It would be A, B, C, C. This is the rhyme scheme of the stanza that's given to you. Now, let's look at another one. I have got a poem written by Annie Scott. It is Missing. She's probably looking for her glasses. Let's not worry about it. I'll read it once for you and then we can go on with the rhyme scheme. I have hunted near, I have hunted far. I have even looked inside my car. My concern is only with the last words. So let's just look at that. The first line always gets the first letter, A. Car rhymes with far, because of which it gets the same letter, A. Now let's look at the next line. I have lost my glasses. I am in need. The end word is need. Please note that need doesn't rhyme with far or car, so it gets the next letter, B. I've lost my glasses, I'm in need. To have them now so I can read. The end word is read. Read rhymes with need, but not with far or car. So it gets the same letter as the previous line, which would be B. Next, go to the next line. I loudly swear and I curse. Did I leave them in my purse? Look at that. The end word is curse. It doesn't rhyme with any of the previous lines, so it gets the next letter C. Purse again rhymes only with curse, which has the letter C. So I repeat the letter C. All right, and the last 2 lines. Are they behind the sofa, under the bed? Oh, there they are on my head. Interesting poem. Bed doesn't rhyme with any of the words before, so it gets the next new letter, D. So does head. Head rhymes with only bed. So it gets D. When you write them together, you get A, B, B, C, C, D, D. Now this is the rhyme scheme of the poem that you've got here. I hope you've understood how you can write, how you have to write rhyme schemes. Let's just take a look at another unique example. Take a look at that. I have a poem written by Carl Sandburg. It's called Fog. The fog comes on little cat feet. It sits looking over harbor and city on silent haunches and then moves on. Very simple poem. Let's try to write the rhyme scheme of this. Take only the end words. Comes gets the letter A. Feet doesn't rhyme with comes, so it gets D. Looking doesn't rhyme with either of the two, so it gets a C. City again is a new sound, D. And haunches, E. Moves on, gets F. How do you even write the rhyme scheme to this? Do you think you can write it as A, B, C, D, E, F? Not really. This is something called free verse. This is called a free verse. It wouldn't have a rhyme scheme. So if something doesn't have repeated sounds, you call it a free verse. Now, this free verse is what is trending these days. You find a lot of poems written in free verse. And this is another reason why rhyme is slightly taking the backseat these days. This is about rhyme scheme. I just want you to introduce you to one more thing. This is a sonnet written by William Shakespeare. Why have I put it here? I just want to let you know that, this legendary poet, William Shakespeare, had a signature rhyme scheme for all his sonnets. If you have read any of those, you would understand that each of his sonnet has 3 quatrains, meaning stanzas of 4 lines each, and a couplet, 2-lined stanza. Now, each of his quatrains had alternating rhyme. The first line would rhyme with the third, and the second would rhyme with the fourth. And the couplet, both the lines would rhyme. So the rhyme scheme of his poems of his sonnets were A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, P, F, and G, G. Now, this is how his poems were written. I hope you've understood rhyme schemes. I hope this has helped you. If you still have any questions, please feel free to write your questions in the comment section. I will try my best to answer them for you. Thank you for watching.